I had a dream of an adventure, going places so remote it takes work and dedication to reach. Places so beautiful it makes time stand still. So still, worry fades into the beauty that surrounds you, into that perfect cup of camp coffee. Adventures that last forever in our hearts and mind. Laughter with family and friends. Adventures so great that when life happens, we smile because we know the next adventure is coming and it will heal your soul. Adventure is what we long for. It's what's in our DNA. This is Anvil's Adventures.
A little fancier than camping, but it works. So, what is it about the outdoors, overlanding, camping, just sitting here in the morning, drinking some coffee with, see if I can turn my camera around here. I don't think I can, so you probably can't see this, but with a view like that. I know for me, a couple of things that start my day are a good cup of coffee, spending some time with my Father, my Lord Savior, and I go through kind of a routine of things I do. But life is very fast, and just think about your kids growing up, your job, all the tasks you have in a day. Get some more coffee. In case you didn't know, it's morning time, so my voice is not nice and chipper yet. But so you go to work by the end of end of Monday, you're already bombarded with enough stuff for the whole week, and it's just Monday. Your kids, work, things you want to do, just everything, bills. So, what is it about this, sitting here, looking at the mountains outside, peace and quiet, other than just the birds chirping and some wind blowing? What is it about this that makes me a better man? Well, first and foremost, spending my time with God. I think is key to that. But I think one of the things He's shown me over the last few years is, at least for me, slowing down and trying to live my life at a pace that is one, pleasing to Him, and where I can hear Him and hear His voice when He speaks to me, but living at that pace we were designed to live at. One of my favorite authors, guys that I follow a lot, is John Eldredge, and he says in one of his books that our souls were not designed to live at the pace we live. And that's really stuck with me, because I wholeheartedly believe that. I think that's why a lot of, well, just talking about men, I think that's why men in general, Christian men, non-Christian, whatever your faith beliefs are, I think we struggle with a lot of things because we're living life faster than we're designed to live it. So for me, that's what this is about, is when I go camping, overlanding, come to the mountains and just try to enjoy some time with family is not getting in a hurry and enjoying this. There's 25 other things I could be doing right now. I could be getting ready. I could be working. Brought computers so I could work this week. I haven't even opened them up. I'd have no intention of it. I can work when I get back home. I may have to work twice as hard next week to make up for this week that I've been gone, and that's fine. But I'll still do that at a pace that's good for my heart and good for my soul. That's just where I think we need to live, because when you get up every day and your feet hit the floor, and some people thrive on this, and if you're one of those people, good on you. And I'm not talking about just because you're groggy, you didn't sleep good, and that kind of stuff. Some people, as soon as their eyes open, they're wide awake, and some people it takes them a little time to get going. But even to those that are wide awake, like to get up early, like to get going, I think it's wise to at least sometimes slow down and just stop and just watch a bird for a little bit that's on a limb. Watch how it does things, and or whatever it is. Just watch the wind blowing some leaves around. Just take some time to relax. Because I know for me, when I sit and I do that, it makes all the things that I know that are coming the rest of this day, it makes it more tolerable. It makes me, when the stresses of life show up, when I've taken my time and set my pace and know that this is the pace that I'm going to walk this day, when I do that, it makes everything else that happens so much easier. Because I know when all these things starts coming at me, that I'm going to process all of them, but I'm going to do it at a pace that I can handle, where it doesn't just completely take me out and ruin my day. And some of it's just training your heart, training your mind, training your soul to just accept things the way they are, and know that you're just, and this is another thing from Eldridge, you're just a small piece of the story to a greater story that's going on. And once you realize that you're not the most important piece of everything that's going on, man, it makes life a lot better. And when you accept that, it'll make you a better husband. It'll make you a better dad, mother, father, better friend. Just when the people around you are struggling, when you can be that steady, calm, and sometimes it can drive people nuts being around people like that. But when stresses kick in and that kind of stuff, that's usually the type of person they're looking to help bring them some calm. So I know for me, being out here, this is something that helps me so much to know that my daughter, Liv, she's in a lot of the videos. She will, here in a few minutes, she's going to get up, and once she gets going, she's going. She talks a lot and that kind of stuff, and I like to be, not the biggest talker in the world, but I try my best when she gets going to be there and listen to her, and the same for my wife. My wife's more energetic, more outgoing, and she's more of a morning person, so when she gets going, I want to know that I'm there, I'm present, and times like this do that for me. And sometimes it's just in the morning. This is something I can do every day, just in the morning, whether I'm in the Smoky Mountains or I'm at camp somewhere or I'm at my house, sitting at my kitchen, sitting at the kitchen table drinking my coffee. I know taking that few minutes just does something for my soul that makes me a better man. It makes me better prepared to handle those situations and be the man that I'm supposed to be for my family. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. And I'm going to kick this over to some other guys and let's see kind of what their thoughts are on this. So let's kick it over to Tony White. He's got a YouTube channel, The Big T Life, and you go over there and like and subscribe to his channel. He's got some pretty cool content. He doesn't post a lot, but what he does is really good. So let's see what Tony has to say.
So what do most people do every day? I would say they get up, they turn on the news, they start watching the news and everything crazy that's going on. They get in their car, they head off to work. It's just traffic. It's always terrible. And you got to fight through that to get where you're going in the morning. Then you get to work and there's just hundreds of emails. You're just scrolling through it and you're trying to just make it through. Phone calls coming in. Somebody's telling you something needs to be done. Somebody's telling you something they didn't get done. It just goes on and on and on. Then you get back in your car and then you fight the traffic back to work. Back home. And then you sit down and sometimes you end up turning the news back on again and you just listen to all that, and then finally you have just a little bit of time, a little quiet time that maybe you talk with your family, with your wife, with your kids, and then you go to bed and then you get up and you do it all over the next day. So out of all that, when did you have any kind of time just to slow down a little bit and to think about what it is you're going to do today? To think about really about how Jesus is going to help you through the day. And do you ask him anything through the day? Do you think about Jesus? Do you think about God and what all he's created for you to enjoy? Do you think about that during the day and all that rushing? No. And I know that because I'm the same way. I do it too. So I have to kind of force myself to slow down, that's for sure. And one way that I do it every now and then is I get to go out into the woods, and I get to go camping, or I get to go overlanding, which some people, that's kind of a scary word, overlanding. You know, how do I do that? I don't have all the equipment to overland. Well, really all that is car camping, truck camping. It's just getting all your gear in your truck or car and going somewhere and set up a camp, stay outside, cook, hang out, hike, kayak, whatever it is that you like to do when you go out. That's what it is. It's just getting out and seeing the land and what's out there to enjoy. So what overlanding does for me, it helps me to slow down. And I get to come out into a place like this right here and set up a camp. Today I'm not camping, but I can set up a camp in an area like this. And usually it's away from internet, cell phone service, and it kind of forces you to slow down. So when you're out here and you can't see the email or get the phone calls, or there's no traffic here on the trail, and that's a great thing. So you can just look around. You can see what God has made for us to enjoy, and it's pretty amazing. You know, sometimes I think about just trying to use all my senses to take in a particular moment. You know, how many senses can I use here? And just thinking about that and slowing down. So it allows you time. You know, when you slow down like that, you can talk to God about a lot of stuff. You can talk about your, personal problems, with family problems, money problems, on and on and on problems. And if you talk to God and you listen and you slow down enough to listen, then he's going to give you an answer. He's going to guide you. And so that's one thing that I say about overlanding and camping, what it's done for me. It helps give me answers a lot of times when I'm having problems. So I love getting out just for the fact of that. And because I know every time that I stop, slow down, and look for God, ask for God, He is right there. And overlanding does that for me.
Man, that was good, Tony. We're just gonna keep doing this. We'll keep go through. We got a few more guys I want to get on here and get your thoughts, and it'll maybe completely different from anything me or Tony just said. Let's throw it over to my brother Josh. He's on Instagram at Sarge Off Road. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Doing my favorite thing, sitting outside in the morning and in nature. You can hear the birds chirping, and every now and then I see a rabbit run across the grass back here. Even seen an eagle up in the tree over there, swoop down over the water and get a fish or whatever it was getting. This is what my soul was created for, to be outside. If you go back to Genesis, the beginning of creation, and you look all through history, the heart of a man was created to be outside and enjoy nature. It's where we come alive. That's why it's one of my favorite things. I think camping, overlanding, however you want to, whatever label you want to put on it. If you could say what's the best part of the whole thing, it's after all the experience of getting there, camping, waking up the next morning to a fresh ground cup of coffee, and just being out here with the peace of nature and letting it speak to your soul. That's what it does for me. I'm Josh. Jeremy asked me a question. I wanted to know, what is this lifestyle? What is this overlanding and camping? How has it made me a better husband or father? And that was a pretty deep question, I think. For me, it was anyway. Looking back, I wanted to know, I want to be able to answer it correctly. So I didn't answer it right away. I said, give me some time. And I think now I've got an answer. I've been camping my whole life. I grew up in the country, grew up in nature. So I've always had a love and a passion for it. But the overlanding thing, going and seeing new things and going to places that, owning a Jeep and being able to get to places others can't go and see things that most people haven't seen, has been on a different level. But I said all that to say this. I look at overlanding and I see the wildness of it, not in the fact of nature, the adventure that it takes to get there, from the hustle and bustle of trying to gather your stuff up to get ready to go, to being, are you going to have a flat, or somebody going to have vehicle problems or get stuck, and just all the things that can happen. But it's just part of the adventure. It is for me anyway. And I don't look at it as a problem. I look at it as this is part of the fun. So that resonates a lot with raising a family and being married. It's yeah, there's a lot of good things, but there's also a lot of ups and downs and turmoil. And I think our perspective of how we view those things, if we view them as the wild, we can see the beauty and the joy and the love in it, even though it seems hectic and aggravating and inconvenient. Uh, but if we just look at take the perspective of, well, you know, I wanted to go to this epic camp spot and it took a lot to get here, but it's all part of the journey and all part of the adventure. And I've been able to look at raising my kids that way over the last several years since I've been doing this. I've been kind of got started doing this part the end of 19 to 2020 during COVID. It's really when it exploded. But being able to look at my wife and kids and say, sometimes things aren't perfect, but that's just part of the adventure.
All right, that was good stuff, Josh. Let's keep it rolling. We'll move over to Stephen Moore for more adventures on YouTube, Instagram, all the social medias. He's probably gonna have a different take on it. So let's see what he has to say. Looking forward to this.
Hey guys, this is Stephen with More Adventures. I was asked by Jeremy with Anvil Adventures to talk about how overlanding has changed me. And I come from a military background, 17 years Army combat veteran, and you know, we were always out in the field and we were always doing things, and you had to pretty much rough it in that lifestyle. So a lot of that remote stuff, I got used to doing it that way, and I learned a lot of survival skills and first aid skills. And what I really enjoyed with that is the camaraderie from your other soldiers you were with, and how you communicated with each other and learned and taught each other life skills in the woods and the desert and different places. But we've been off-roading and camping pretty much my whole life and stuff, so we've always been around four-wheelers and boats and Jeeps and side-by-sides, and we started off camping out of ground tents, and I've just always really enjoyed the outdoors. And so I really got into the overlanding scene about, I'd say about 3 years ago, and my dad inspired me with that. I went with him to Hot Springs Off-Road Park in Arkansas, and really enjoyed that time with him doing that. And after that trip, I think I caught the bug for it, and I started looking into it a little further with my Tacoma and different setups and watching videos and YouTube channels, and just got, really interested in it and started looking at my options on how to set my stuff up. And then we went to the Ozarks for the first time in 2021. It was just me and Dad, his Jeep and my Tacoma. All I had was a little small lift, didn't have any accessories or nothing other than a GMRS radio. And that day, I think that's what did it. After that, I have grown a huge passion for the outdoors and the overlanding off-road scene. And it don't matter to me. You can have a Tacoma, a 4Runner, a Jeep, Ford, Dodge. You take whatever you want. You take the vehicle that you have that's off-road capable and just go out there and do what you love. Go hiking, camping, fishing. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a big built-up rig and all this fancy gear that we all get. I mean, yeah, it's fun and it's nice, and the amenities makes it more enjoyable, but you can just have the cheap regular ground tent and basic stuff from your regular sporting goods place or Walmart or anything. But the main thing is get out there and enjoy it, and just find your peace of mind. Because me personally, I go off-roading. It gets us away from the stresses of life and all the noise that you have in your life from working and stress from bills and whatnot. And I got a passion for it and I really love it. That's my way of finding a way of therapy, in a sense, if you can. So that's why you'll see it with me. I always will say it's my adventure therapy or my trail therapy, because I get out there and I don't have to worry about anything. I can clear my head, I can just relax and enjoy it, and then, I don't know, it's just peaceful and I love it, and seeing the new things and finding the new places, and then hearing all the sounds of the water and the road noises from the tires through the gravel and mud and on the rocks, and then finding that perfect or ideal remote camping spot, whatever yours is. Mine, I love camping next to the water. I want a remote place with not a bunch of people, not a lot of traffic, where I can be by the water and we can fish, we can just hear the sounds of it and sit back and relax and enjoy it. And if, you know, we catch some fish, great. If it's hot and we take a swim, that's awesome. But when the weather cools off, you make you a fire, sit around, just relax and enjoy life and unwind and get that peace of mind out there in the nature, you know, and in the remote places is where I get my peace of mind and my adventure therapy. But as far as what it has done for me and what makes me really love it is getting the family involved and getting them into it. You know, I like to see the excitement on their face when we find new places, or when we go through that obstacle and that truck flexes or the Jeep flexes, or we get in the mud a little bit, just the excitement in their voice, and seeing them enjoy the camping environment and just being able to run free and not have to do anything or worry about anything. And then it gets them off of the social media and it gets them off of their phones and their game systems, and out there they can learn life skills and see what it's all about. So thanks, Jeremy, for inviting me on this. I really appreciate all y'all watching it, and until next time, y'all go get your trail therapy and let us know where you get your peace of mind.
See, that was a little bit different take, but I mean, point being is everybody's going to have their own thing. But I think what we're trying to get across in this video is just how there's things in, it may not have anything to do with camping, it may not have anything to do with outdoors, but there are things in this life that you can do that settle your soul, that make you a better man, make you a better dad, father, brother, son, and for the women out there, same thing, better moms, better daughters, better wives. Maybe a completely different situation. This is more focused on the men, but it can definitely work both ways. We're gonna hear from another guy who, man, I respect this next guy more than I can express. His name's Chuck Van Hook. He's been my kid's youth pastor, pretty much. Michaela and Addison's youth pastor since they've got to that age where they were in youth, and he'll be Liv's youth pastor, I hope. But man, I cannot express enough the respect I have for this guy and just the dad he is, the husband he is, just the man he is to all these kids. So let's hear from Chuck and kind of get his take on some of this.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Chuck Van Hook, out here in Tennessee, man, and I just love getting outside, getting outdoors. Really started overlanding back during COVID in 2020. Got 5 kids, man, and so things around me and my wife's world are hectic and busy, to say the least. But man, I love getting out and getting away. And for me, the best part is just being able to breathe a little easier, to relax, slow down, be more intentional with my kids one-on-one. When we're in town and we're running from sport to sport, we're trying to be supportive. We're trying to be there for all their games and things for school, and trying to sit down with them and do homework and all those things. But as everybody knows, that stuff is stressful and a pain in the butt most of the time. But when we're gone, when we're out camping, when we're out on road trips, man, just the opportunities to talk with each of my kids one-on-one, try and teach them a new skill while we're out, whether that is just splitting wood for some kindling, or setting up the tent, or even now I've got one that's driving, so teaching her to drive while pulling a trailer and backing it in, or anything like that. Man, those are just life-giving moments for me. Also, once the kids kind of go to bed and me and the wife are sitting around the fire, just being able to have some uninterrupted conversation where we can sit and we can really talk about life and things that are going on, and maybe issues that we're having with a kid here or there, that we can kind of sit down and talk and really discuss those things. It's just huge. And who doesn't love cooking while you're out in the wilderness, man? That's probably my go-to life-giving thing that helps me out when I'm out, whether it's backpacking and you're cooking a little bag meal with some hot boiling water, or whether it's breakfast burritos on the fire in the morning, cooking. And my boys love to cook with me while we're camping, so that's probably one of my favorite things out there as well, man. But yeah, just in general, and I think I speak this, and I think it probably makes sense for the majority of us that are out camping and overlanding and things like that, being out in God's creation, being close to just nature, and kind of being able to sit back, watch, soak it all in, while you've got your family and stuff there with you. It's just, man, it's life-giving. It's a blast. I wish I could do it every day of the week, but when I get a chance to slow down and sit and just listen and have conversations, there's nothing better. Nothing better.
Man, great stuff. Good stuff. Let's go to another guy. This is a really good, like what he had to say when he sent me this video. His name's Robert Wicker. He's probably, you've probably seen him before on the bigger YouTube channel. He's good friends with Matt at Ozark Overland Adventures. He's on a lot of his videos, so I really appreciate him taking the time to do this. But what he has to say is really good, so let's check out and see what he had to say.
Jerry asked me to do a little short video about what overlanding means to me, and how it makes me be a better person, a better man. And so I was thinking about it. Last night, me and Nathan Anderson, a good friend of mine, we spent the night at the headwaters of the Buffalo, and he had this little project that he was going to do, and he gave me this. I'll stop for a second. It's water from the Buffalo and a little bit of the sediment. And he says that when you shake it up, it looks chaotic, kind of nasty, and a little bit gross. But if you let it settle for a while, it gets clear again. And so I think as Christians, our lives are never going to be easy. We're going to be challenged. We'll have obstacles that we have to face. And every now and then we just need to find a quiet place, settle in, and calm ourselves, and things will get a lot clearer. Well, overlanding or off-roading or whatever you want to call it is challenging. You know, you have to set up your rig, you have to plan a route, you have to go through these obstacles off-road, and sometimes you have a fallen tree, sometimes you get stuck, sometimes you have a vehicle breakdown. There's all these things that can potentially go wrong, and people ask me all the time, why would you want to do that? You know, why would you want to put yourself through all that? I think as men, I think we need adventure. I think God calls us to have adventurous spirits, and our lives are too easy. A lot of times we live in a civilized area, we have a decent job, sometimes we're behind a desk, sometimes we're not challenged physically, and so we need that challenge. And if we don't have those challenges physically, the devil could creep in and start challenging us in other ways. So I think that overlanding, for me anyway, has been a way to not only physically challenge myself, but also spiritually challenge myself. And I've been very fortunate to be able to wheel with good men, with good souls and a good heart, God in their lives. And it's just hard to describe what it's like to go out with these guys and go through an adventure and overcome these obstacles, and then get by a little stream or river and camp out for the night and just settle your soul. So to me, it helps me be stronger with my faith. It helps me overcome some physical challenges and kind of feed that part of your soul. And it also exposes me to men who make me better. So anyway, that's just a little taste of what it's like to, for me anyway, to go off-road and be with people that help me be a better person. Thanks.
Man, Robert, that was spot on. That's exactly how I feel about it. That's why I get out, enjoy getting out and with all the guys from church and just when we've got out with Robert and some of the guys over there in Arkansas and Mississippi, and so that's what it's about for sure. Let's keep it moving, man. We got one more guy. He's a family friend. Get some cars coming by here, but he's good guy. His name's Eric Bausch. He's probably going to have a little bit different take on it. He does a lot of hiking and like get out several days and hikes and stuff. It's been interesting to see what he's gonna say about it. Plus, he's a counselor, and so be interesting to see what his take is on it. So let's sit over there and see what he has to say.
Hey guys, my name's Eric Bausch. Jeremy asked me to share a few thoughts around camping. And so my first thought as I was thinking through this was, I've got no background in this. Before I got married to my wife, actually, I'd never been camping, never been hiking, never done anything like that. And so really the first few times we went, what it drew out of me was I didn't want to do it. It was something different. And actually I pouted about it as I was reflecting on it, and because it wasn't my thing and I didn't want to do it, and it was out of my comfort zone. And so it really drew out of me a couple things. One, something I wasn't comfortable doing and how I responded to it. It needed to mature and grow up some. And then once I got out there, how much I realized I actually enjoyed it. I think it let me be more of a kid, being outside, campfire, cool nights, depending on when you're doing it. But just the freedom of being outside, not the restrictions of buildings and computers and phones and all the things. And so through the years, we did a lot of camping with our family. That's what we did for vacations. We'd go to Arkansas or places in Middle Tennessee, and we'd camp and hike and spend time outside and spend time together as a family, which was great. My wife and I. Since then, as our kids grew up, we started doing backpacking, which is just kind of camping on a different level. You're just not, you don't have some of the amenities. So not selling backpacking to do that, but that's a different maybe level of camping. And that in and of itself is pretty exhilarating. You get the same effects of being outside and enjoying the outdoors and everything that goes along with it, like I said earlier. But with this, you get I got everything I own on my back, and I'm going up this hill, and I'm gonna keep going up that hill, depending on where you're at, for a long ways, and down and around and over. And I think what that part of it did for me was just really work on my willpower, that when things get difficult, not to quit, which is huge, because there are plenty of places on the trail that we can quit, especially when we're talking about as believers. The enemy loves to get us weighed down with things and wants us to quit on ourselves, our family, our walk on the Lord. And so that is a different part of that camping experience, but backpacking also brought out a lot of powerful things in me. And so whether or not you're camping or you're backpacking or glamping or whatever, I just see a huge value to it. So, okay.